we started this conversation and got you on as well to talk about the legislation. So my last question for you is actually back to that. I want to know from your experience and from, being in the world, if the government does pass this legislation banning gang insignia, what will the gangs do? What will the outcome be from that, do you think?
I don't really know because, like I say myself, I don't sort of place a whole lot of things on patches and all the rest of it. It's yes, well, I guess it's like the frock for a reverend, isn't it? They wear a
Yeah.
frock. That's what distinguishes their identity. And so when you
Yeah.
start looking back again at the genesis of this, right? So when our people, whether it's the process of colonization that stripped Māori of their economic base, and then urban drift was the answer, bring them to the cities to work in the industries, and then you had this process called the process of assimilation. So that's how Pākehā New Zealand was going to deal with Māori after you colonise them. We're going to turn the brown folk into just like white folk, and it backfired terribly. So in other words, the sense of identity was stripped away from these people. And when they become institutionalised, their identity was further stripped away. And I remember one time when I was organising a hui with the youth gangs in South Auckland, going back around about 2015. And Roy Dunn was the national president of the Notorious chapter, who I actually got to fund him to go and work with those youth gangs. And with this hui, we had Wali Homaha, the police come in and so forth. And I said to Roy, I said, do you think it would be a good idea for us not to wear the patches and to get the kids not to wear their colours? And Roy looked at me, stared me in the eye, and he said, "Why, fuck, I will." And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" He said, "That rag that you're talking about, that's all that kid's got. That's all he's got. And you're telling me to take it off him? Get fucked." See, that's what we don't know. When you've lost your identity and stripped away from you, you form your own identity. Yeah. That's what you have in terms of subcultures. Yeah. And so that subculture becomes the predominant culture in that person's life. So when you're talking about taking away patches and that, why did these gangs form? Why did they have colours and patches? Because their search for identity that was stripped away from them. And now we're going to strip them off them again, just like when they legislated to stop Māori speaking Māori. It's the same thing. It's colonisation all over again, all right, for the same group of people intergenerationally.